We're acting like you're already here.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so Kayla, go ahead when you're ready. Let me know what you wanted to talk about today.
I guess I'm struggling a little bit with making sure that I keep focused in school right now.
And why do you think that is?
I just have my internship and work and other things that I'm trying to keep up with.
A lot, a balancing act almost.
Yes.
Yeah, that can be overwhelming. But what are some good things that have been going on with your schooling and work?
Well, the nice part is that this quarter has been a little less stressful, like with work-wise, for like school work-wise.
Oh.
It's not quite, assignments aren't like super, there's not too many. And so that's good. And then work's fun, but it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And internship, it's a good experience, but it's just a lot of time.
So you're interning and working and in school?
Yeah.
You should give yourself some credit. That's a lot.
Thanks.
So I understand that you wanted to talk about maybe working towards a goal that you had in mind for yourself. Do you want to, when you want, just let me know a little bit more about that?
My goal is just to kind of figure out some time where I can just spend to like concentrate on just schoolwork, I guess.
So you want to, what we can do today if you want, it sounds like, is maybe set a goal that you'll spend a certain amount of time each week, or we could even do each day where you try and devote that time specifically to homework. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, to do each day could be a little overwhelming. So do you want to start with, every week, maybe take that first step of, okay, each week I'll do this amount, and then once you feel more confident in that, then work on maybe each day?
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to do homework more than just once a week though.
Well,
but,
yeah, of course. And yeah, if we say, you want to devote, let's say 10 hours a week to homework, you can then divide that up however you want. But that kind of, it gives you more flexibility. So if one day you're really busy with work and you somehow can't get in that 2 hours of work, that it can translate over to maybe an hour on Thursday versus Monday. So does that sound something you'd be interested in? Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your day-to-day routine and what that looks like.
I get up, I start work at 8, and then I finish around 4:35ish, and then come here to class, and then after class I just go home and eat food and want to go to bed. And then some days on Wednesdays and Fridays instead of work I go to my internship. So I'm at my internship for half the day, and then after that is trying to, I have to go to school still, and then Friday it's the weekend, so I want to go do other stuff for my personal life.
So you have a really packed schedule. You get home and then almost you eat and leave, right? How many weeks are you in school, right? Consecutively?
Well,
Like, is it like a 10-week quarter, or is it a semester? It's a 10-week quarter? Okay. And so it sounds like, Fridays, when you mentioned Fridays, that's what stuck out to me, is you have these days where you could do homework, but that's like your one day where you can actually go out and have a social life during the week. Is that
yeah,
how you
I work
feel?
on the weekends.
Oh, you do? Okay. So there's very limited time, and you want to, spend that time where you're not feeling overwhelmed with everything by spending it with family and friends. Okay. Does it seem like we could maybe set a goal that for these 10 weeks, which can seem really overwhelming, is there a way that maybe you could split that time on Friday to where you do spend some time on homework, keeping in mind that it is only for 10 weeks and you have the summer coming up? Does that sound like
Yeah, I guess I could do it like
attainable?
in the morning before I go to my internship.
Okay. And we can, would you like to maybe write out a schedule with me? It doesn't have to be set in stone, but we could create a weekly schedule where you say, okay, from this chunk of time of work, that's work. There's no way to get around that. And then you've got school, but then you have these open spaces where maybe you'll plan the week before and you'll like sit down on Sunday and say, I want to use this free chunk of time on homework. Does that sound like something you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay. In the past, because you've been in school before, right? That was something we talked about. What were there methods that you've used before that have been proven useful for you in terms of concentrating and?
Well, I just haven't had before. I didn't have my internship, and also my work was a little less. So I had a little more time of like free time.
So now you're really limited, whereas before you were limited, but now it's to a greater degree with these extra responsibilities.
Yeah.
And that is, again, I hope, give yourself credit, and there's nothing wrong with spending time, free time that you have, like you mentioned on Friday, where you do things that are relaxing and kind of relieving of stress. Do you take time to kind of treat yourself?
Yeah, as much as I can.
What sort of things do you like to do?
Well, I just like to hang out with friends.
Hang out with friends? Do you do hiking, go and see movies? What, if you were to describe to me right now what a really relaxing day would look like, what would it be?
I'd probably want to go on a hike.
Go on a hike? Yeah, nature. So yeah, what we could do if you would like is when we plan out, like a schedule, we can incorporate time for you to go hiking. Does that sound like?
That's cool.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, try not to feel like it's bad to use the time that you could use for homework to instead focus on self-care. There's nothing wrong with that. Are you looking for a balance of that self-care with time to focus on homework?
Yeah.
And so when you sit down to do homework, is it pretty easy for you to become distracted?
Not usually. When I sit down and actually do it, it's pretty easy to get it done.
So it's getting you
To
into
do it.
place. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll go over, so what we're going to do is look at your schedule. We're going to work on incorporating time for self-care as well as time for homework. And then we'll meet after a few weeks to talk about what it looked like, if this was something that was useful. Maybe you need to tweak it a little, which is always okay. But right now, I'd like you to tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not confident at all and 10 being very confident. How confident do you feel right now that you'll be able to make this change?
About like a 6.
A 6? Okay. And so first I'm going to ask, why don't you think you're like a 2 or a 3? What's giving you that motivation and that encouragement, I should say?
Well, I've always been good at school, so I've never had like a struggle of keeping my grades up.
Okay.
But it's not a 2 or 3 either, because it's like I do have like some mornings I could wake up earlier or something like that I could get my homework done. It's just wanting to actually get up and do it.
Okay. So you're a 6, you're not a 2 or a 3. And so, does this seem a little bit newer to you, this lack of focus in school, since it seems like in the past you've been good at sitting down and focusing?
Yeah. And usually springtime comes around and it's sunny and I just want to go outside and do stuff.
Of course, yeah. So what do you think it'll take to get you from that 6, which is really good, to like an 8 or a 9?
I don't really know.
Because it is confidence, so and at the end of the day it really does come from you. But do you think maybe talking with parents about these goals and having them having them as like a support system would help?
No, not really.
No, not really, okay. Okay, but yeah, like I said, we can come back in a few weeks and talk about what we're gonna do, going forward.
Okay.
All right, cool, thanks.